Awesome. Now that you have done your assessment and you know your primary advantage and your secondary advantage, we can go deeper with this and start to talk about what your anthem actually is, what that looks like, why you want to communicate with a 2 to 3 word tagline. And so let's do that. Let's talk about that. Okay, just a refresher. There are 7 languages of fascination. They are innovation, passion, power, prestige, trust, mystique, and alert. Innovation is the language of creativity. Passion is the language of relationship. Power is the language of confidence. Prestige is the language of excellence. Trust is the language of stability. Mystique is the language of listening. And last but not least, alert is the language of details. So now that you can see all of these, your report will have told you your primary, your secondary, and one more thing. It will have told you your dormant advantage. If we view all of these like a set of golf clubs, your primary is the one that you usually choose when you are communicating with someone else and trying to be influential and persuade them, and maybe even in your negotiating situations. Your secondary is the one that you are most likely to use as a backup, but the power is in using them together, and we are going to teach you exactly how to do that. Your dormant advantage is the one that you are least likely to pick. Of the 7, it is the one that gets the least amount of use. So just to give you a frame of reference, I will share with you my anthem later in this program, but my primary is prestige and my secondary is power. So it's the way that the two of those combine that allows me to communicate in a totally different and frankly more authentic way. As a result of knowing those two things, the name of my company is Dynamite Productions. The logo is a great big firework, and there's some symbolism in there that we can talk about another day. Just recognize that fireworks are powerful and they are also beautiful, which is part of the reason that I chose that for my logo. My dormant is mystique. The language of listening, or the language of mystery a little bit. Yeah, it's very rare for me to not jump in and want to talk and be all excited and passionate and fabulous about any conversation that I'm having with pretty much anybody, which is probably why I became a professional speaker for a living. I was like, wow, I began speaking at an early age and have never stopped. But mystique is my dormant advantage. And so recognizing some of these things about yourself is essential as you work to build your truly authentic brand. What is fascination? Here's a fun definition. Fascination is an intense focus. When you fascinate your listener, they're more likely to connect with you and remember you. And ultimately, as real estate professionals, that is the challenge, right? NAR statistics tell us that the average buyer interviews no more than 1.4 individuals for the job of being their buyer's agent. I've never met a 0.4 person. So you want to be that memorable individual that they think of when they have a real estate need and they are looking to buy, whether that's a primary residence, an investment property, or a resort or a second home property. When they have a real estate need, we want them to think of you. So how are you going to fascinate and captivate your listener? How are you going to be memorable so that when someone has a real estate need, they think of you? And that is the art and the science of fascination. Science tells us that because of social media and our brains have literally rewired, we now have the attention span of a goldfish, 9 seconds. And there are other reports that tell you that this is bogus. The scientific reports that I have listened to and that are part of the basis for this fundamental work tell us that this is absolutely true. That we've got 9 seconds to captivate someone's attention, or they're scrolling. Whether we are teaching a class, whether we are trying to get them to list or sell with us, no matter what it is we are trying to get someone to do, I find this even with my grandchildren. You've got 9 seconds to captivate someone's attention and cut through the distraction and the competition for their attention. So how are you going to do that? Let's think about what is the definition of a brand. So I love this slide. It's got a lot of possibilities. The name of your company, your logo, the identity, the colors, the strategy, and the marketing all go into the makeup of a brand. I don't know why, but when I think of brand and name and logo and identity, I think back to one of my favorite brands from when I was a little kid, McDonald's. Not my favorite brand today, but they have done an incredible job of creating certainty that the hamburger that I buy in Los Angeles, California is going to be substantially similar to the hamburger that I buy in Tokyo, Japan. So creating a consistent experience for your buyers, for your sellers, is an absolutely essential part of what you are doing in the creating of your brand. Of all the definitions of brand, however, that I've ever found, this one takes the cake. This is my favorite from Seth Godin. A brand is the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that, when taken together, account for a consumer's decision to choose one product or service over another. We want to create the likelihood that they're going to choose you. So let's have a little fun with this. I would love to hear from you at this point what you think the top 5 most loved brands in the United States are. When we do this live, it is a lot of fun because I think you're going to be surprised as to what the answers are. So go ahead and throw me a quick email, Cheryl@CherylKnows.com, or put it in our Facebook group, wherever you can get a hold of me. You can even text me. Send me what you believe are the top 5 most loved brands in the United States, and I'll let you know what the answers are.